1 in every 2 men over 40 struggles with some form of sexual performance issue, yet most never talk about it, not with their doctor, not even with their partner. And that silence often turns a physical signal into an emotional burden. Many men start to wonder if their body is betraying them, if they are simply too old, or if there is nothing they can do. But the truth is far more hopeful. Your body is not failing you. It is communicating with you. And one of the most overlooked messages it sends is through something as simple as thirst. The way you hydrate, when you hydrate, and what you hydrate with can directly influence your circulation, your hormonal balance, and yes, even your erections. Now, that may sound surprising, but when we break it down scientifically, it makes perfect sense. Erections are fundamentally a vascular event, a reflection of how efficiently blood flows through the smallest vessels in your body. Water plays a vital role in maintaining that flow. When you are even mildly dehydrated, your blood becomes more viscous, your heart must work harder, and your endothelial cells, the lining of your blood vessels, produce less nitric oxide, the very molecule that signals blood vessels in the penis to relax and expand. Today, we are going to uncover what research shows about how proper hydration and timing your fluid intake can support better circulation, improved energy, and more consistent erectile function, especially after age 50. I will walk you through the real science, what to look for, and how to make hydration work for you rather than against you. If you have ever felt uncertain, frustrated, or overwhelmed by mixed advice online, this conversation will help you reconnect with your body's signals, regain confidence, and build a clearer, stronger relationship with your health, because it is not about drinking more water. It is about drinking water smarter. Let us start with a foundational truth. An erection is not just a sexual event, it is a vascular event. It reflects how well your blood vessels expand, how efficiently your heart pumps, and how smoothly your circulatory system delivers oxygen to the smallest capillaries in your body. Every erection is, in essence, a test of cardiovascular health. When you are dehydrated, even slightly, your blood becomes thicker and more resistant to flow. Think of it like a river running low after a dry season. The current slows, debris gathers, and the banks start to narrow. The same happens inside your arteries and veins. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that mild dehydration, as little as 2% loss in body water, can reduce plasma volume enough to lower blood pressure and compromise blood vessel dilation. This directly affects nitric oxide production, the molecule your body uses to trigger erections. Nitric oxide is released from the endothelium, the thin layer of cells lining every blood vessel. It tells the smooth muscle within the arteries of the penis to relax, allowing blood to flood in and create firmness. But the endothelium is highly sensitive to changes in hydration. Research from the American Journal of Physiology shows that dehydration reduces endothelial function and decreases nitric oxide availability, making it harder for blood vessels to expand on demand. This means that hydration is not a side note. It is a biological requirement for healthy erections. Men who chronically underhydrate often experience fatigue, lower energy, and weaker responses to arousal because their circulatory system is operating below its optimal capacity. Now, this does not mean simply drinking liters of water at once. Overhydration without balance can create strain on the kidneys and dilute essential electrolytes. The key is consistency, small, steady hydration throughout the day to maintain stable plasma volume. In clinical terms, I often advise patients to monitor the color of their urine. Pale yellow generally indicates good hydration. Dark yellow or amber is a sign that your body is conserving water. You can think of your hydration status as the quality of your body's internal river. Clearer, smoother flow equals better performance. Here is a simple, actionable tip. Start your morning with 1 glass of room temperature water before coffee or breakfast. This reactivates circulation after sleep and helps restore plasma volume that naturally drops overnight. When most men think about hydration, they picture thirst, dry mouth, or fatigue, but few realize that the way you hydrate directly influences your hormonal balance, particularly testosterone, cortisol, and the signaling pathways that connect your brain to your reproductive system. Let us begin with a simple concept. Your body is roughly 60% water, but your hormones travel within that fluid. Every molecule of testosterone, every pulse of luteinizing hormone, every message from the brain to the testes moves through that watery medium. When the body is dehydrated, that communication network slows down, like static interrupting a clear signal. Research published in the Journal of Endocrinological Investigation found that even mild dehydration can elevate cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. When cortisol rises chronically, testosterone production declines. That means poor hydration can indirectly suppress the very hormone that supports libido, muscle mass, and energy in men over 50. The hypothalamus and pituitary gland, your hormonal command centers, are also extremely sensitive to fluid shifts. Studies from the National Institutes of Health show that dehydration triggers stress pathways in the brain, reducing gonadotropin-releasing hormone, which leads to lower testosterone output. This is why chronic fatigue, irritability, and low motivation often accompany dehydration. They are not just physical symptoms, but hormonal reflections of internal stress. Now, let us talk about circulation again. Testosterone is not just produced, it must also be transported. It binds to proteins in the blood, mainly albumin and sex hormone-binding globulin, SHBG. When blood becomes thicker due to low water volume, hormone delivery to target tissues becomes less efficient. The result can be slower recovery, reduced libido, and lower morning energy. Think of testosterone like a delivery truck and hydration as the road it travels on. When the road is smooth and clear, the delivery arrives on time. When it is cracked and congested, everything slows. So how can you support hormonal balance through hydration? Start by setting small hydration goals aligned with your daily rhythm. Drink a glass of water mid-morning and another mid-afternoon rather than gulping large amounts at once. If you are physically active or live in a warm climate, increase your intake modestly. Avoid extreme restriction or sudden flooding of the system. Your kidneys and adrenal glands maintain electrolyte and hormonal balance through gradual adjustments. Consistency is key. A practical step, pair hydration with nourishment. Consuming water alongside meals that contain electrolytes like vegetables, fruits, or a pinch of sea salt helps stabilize cortisol and supports testosterone's anabolic function. If this is resonating with you, take a moment to comment below and share your experience. The more men talk openly about hormonal health, the faster we remove the stigma and confusion that surround it. Next, we will look at something most people never consider. When you drink, water may matter just as much as how much you drink. It is not just the quantity of water that matters. Timing plays a crucial role in how your body absorbs, uses, and eliminates it. Especially for men over 50, hydration timing can influence not only circulation and erection quality, but also sleep, prostate comfort, and morning energy levels. Let us start with what happens overnight. During sleep, your body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and restores vascular flexibility. But if you drink large amounts of water right before bed, you may wake up multiple times to urinate, disrupting the deep sleep cycles that your endocrine system relies on for testosterone production. Research from the Sleep Foundation and Harvard Health shows that men who experience fragmented sleep have significantly lower morning testosterone levels, even when total sleep hours appear normal. So the goal is not to restrict water altogether at night, but to distribute it strategically throughout the day. Imagine your hydration like fueling a steady flame. You do not pour all the oil at once. You keep it burning by adding small amounts regularly. Studies published in the European Journal of Nutrition demonstrate that spreading fluid intake evenly improves plasma osmolality, that is, the concentration of solutes in your blood, leading to better cellular function and improved vascular tone. In simpler terms, consistent hydration helps your blood vessels stay responsive, your muscles oxygenated, and your erection quality more reliable. Here is how you can structure it practically. Begin your morning with a full glass of water before coffee. Caffeine is mildly diuretic, which means it can increase fluid loss. By starting with water first, you maintain hydration before stimulation. Continue by sipping water gradually through the day, one glass around mid-morning, another during lunch, and one or two through the afternoon. Reduce your intake about 2 hours before bedtime to protect your sleep. If you feel thirsty in the evening, take small sips rather than a full glass. Hydration also plays a subtle role in your circadian rhythm. According to research from the Journal of Biological Rhythms, consistent hydration patterns help regulate core body temperature and cardiovascular stability, two key factors for restorative sleep. Now, there is another angle here. Many men wake up at night to urinate, a condition called nocturia, and assume it is only due to prostate issues. But poor hydration timing can contribute. When the body is mildly dehydrated during the day, it concentrates urine. The kidneys then work harder at night to balance electrolytes, triggering nocturnal urination. By front-loading hydration earlier, you actually reduce the nighttime workload on your kidneys. So the key takeaway, hydration is not just about how much water you drink, it is about creating rhythm. Keep your mornings and afternoons hydrated, taper off toward the evening, and let your body rest. In the next section, we will discuss why hydration is not only about water itself, but about the minerals that make water work properly inside your cells. Water alone cannot do its job without the minerals that help it move in and out of your cells. These minerals, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, are collectively called electrolytes. They regulate nerve impulses, muscle contraction, and vascular tone. When they are out of balance, your hydration efforts can actually work against you. Let us start with a simple picture. Imagine your body as an electrical circuit. Water is the medium through which electricity flows, but electrolytes are the wires and connectors that make sure the current reaches every cell. Without them, the signal weakens. One of the key electrolytes for erectile function is magnesium. Research published in the International Journal of Impotence Research found that men with magnesium deficiency were more likely to experience endothelial dysfunction, meaning the inner lining of their blood vessels could not expand properly. Magnesium supports nitric oxide synthesis, improves circulation, and helps relax the smooth muscles of the arteries, including those in the penis. Potassium is equally vital. It balances sodium and prevents fluid retention, which can raise blood pressure and strain the vascular system. A study from the American Heart Association revealed that higher dietary potassium intake improves vascular elasticity and supports better blood flow, critical for sustaining firm erections. Sodium, often misunderstood, also plays a role. The key is moderation. When sodium levels are too high, blood vessels constrict. When too low, your body struggles to maintain proper blood pressure. The goal is not to eliminate sodium, but to balance it through natural sources rather than processed foods. This balance determines how well your cells stay hydrated. If electrolytes are off, water either rushes out of your cells too quickly or fails to enter them efficiently. You may drink plenty of water but still feel fatigued or dizzy, a sign that your hydration is incomplete. In my practice, I often suggest a small but powerful adjustment. Add a pinch of mineral-rich sea salt or a squeeze of lemon to 1 glass of water daily, especially if you sweat frequently or live in a warm climate. This helps restore sodium and potassium balance while improving absorption. You can also get electrolytes naturally through foods: bananas, avocados, leafy greens, yogurt, and nuts. These are slow-release sources that support steady hydration and sustained vascular function. When your electrolytes are balanced, your circulation improves, your muscles recover faster, and your erection quality benefits from more efficient oxygen delivery. Think of water and electrolytes as partners. Water fills the system. Electrolytes keep it stable and electrically alive. When that partnership is in harmony, every organ, and from your brain to your prostate, functions more effectively. If this perspective is giving you clarity, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need it. Many men overlook these simple steps, yet they form the foundation of better performance and vitality. Next, we will discuss a critical aspect often ignored by many men over 50, how to find the right balance between hydration, prostate comfort, and bladder health without disrupting sleep. As men age, hydration becomes a delicate balance between supporting circulation and protecting the prostate and bladder. Too little water in your urine becomes concentrated, irritating the bladder and increasing inflammation in the urinary tract. Too much, especially late in the evening, and you are up several times a night, disrupting sleep and placing unnecessary strain on the prostate. The key lies in moderation, timing, and awareness. Let us begin with how hydration affects the prostate. The prostate surrounds the urethra, the same tube that carries urine from the bladder. When the prostate becomes slightly enlarged, as it often does with age, it can press on the urethra and slow urine flow. Concentrated urine contains higher levels of waste products like urea and uric acid, which can irritate both the bladder and the prostate tissue. Research from the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases shows that mild dehydration can worsen urinary symptoms and discomfort in men with benign prostatic hyperplasia, commonly known as BPH. On the other hand, drinking too much water too quickly, especially late in the day, can create urgency, nocturia, and interrupted rest. Sleep fragmentation not only lowers testosterone levels, but also increases inflammation, which further stresses the prostate. According to a clinical review in Urology Journal, men who manage hydration timing experience significantly fewer nighttime awakenings and improved urinary comfort. So how do you find balance? Think of your bladder as a well-trained muscle. It prefers predictability. Hydrating steadily throughout the day and tapering off in the last 2 hours before bed trains your bladder to empty fully during waking hours and rest quietly through the night. Here is a practical method I often recommend. Drink a glass of water upon waking. Sip smaller amounts during mid-morning and lunch. Have one final moderate glass around late afternoon. After dinner, reduce fluids and listen to your body's signals rather than drinking by habit. Also, avoid bladder irritants in the evening. Caffeine, alcohol, and artificial sweeteners. These can act as mild diuretics, forcing your kidneys to release more water. If you deal with urinary urgency or dribbling, consider pelvic floor exercises. Yes, Kegels are not just for women. Strengthening the pelvic muscles improves bladder control and circulation to the prostate region. Clinical evidence from the British Journal of Urology International confirms that men who practice targeted pelvic exercises experience reduced urinary symptoms and improved erectile response. Finally, do not confuse increased urination with healthy detoxification. Your kidneys are incredibly efficient. What they need most is consistency, not overload. Gentle hydration protects both the prostate and the bladder by keeping tissues supple and reducing irritation. When hydration is balanced, men often notice better urinary flow, deeper sleep, and improved morning vitality. Next, we will bring all these insights together into one practical daily strategy: a smart hydration plan for better erections, stronger energy, and lasting vitality. Now that we have unpacked the science, let us translate it into a simple, realistic plan that you can start today. The goal is not to drink excessive amounts of water, but to hydrate rhythmically, support vascular health, balance hormones, and protect the prostate, all while maintaining steady energy and sound sleep. Think of this plan as a framework for how your day can flow: steady, intentional, and supportive to your body's natural rhythms. Morning. Rehydrate and activate circulation. After waking, your body is mildly dehydrated. You have gone 6 to 8 hours without fluids, and plasma volume drops overnight. Start your day with one full glass of room temperature water before anything else, even before coffee or tea. This rehydrates the bloodstream, boosts nitric oxide release, and primes your cardiovascular system for the day. If you enjoy coffee, follow it with a smaller glass of water. Caffeine acts as a mild diuretic, and replacing that fluid helps keep blood volume stable. Adding a small pinch of sea salt or a few drops of lemon can enhance electrolyte balance naturally. Midday, sustain energy and support hormones. Aim for one glass of water mid-morning and another at lunch. You can think of this as your hormonal maintenance window. Stable hydration helps regulate cortisol levels, supports testosterone signaling, and improves nutrient transport. If you eat fruits or vegetables with high water content, like cucumber, melon, or leafy greens, they contribute to your total intake. Afternoon, optimize blood flow and cellular repair. By mid-afternoon, fatigue can set in. That is your cue to rehydrate again. A moderate glass of water or an electrolyte-rich beverage, such as coconut water, can refresh circulation and prevent blood from thickening as the day goes on. Gentle hydration in the afternoon also supports recovery and endurance if you are physically active. Evening protects sleep and prostate health. As the sun sets, begin tapering your fluid intake. Have your final full glass of water about 2 hours before bed, then limit yourself to small sips if you feel thirsty later. This approach allows your kidneys to process excess fluid before you sleep, minimizing nighttime awakenings and supporting deeper rest. General guidelines: keep your urine pale yellow, not clear, not dark. That color reflects balanced hydration. If you sweat often or live in a hot climate, increase your intake gradually rather than drastically. Incorporate natural electrolytes from food rather than relying on processed sports drinks. Avoid alcohol or sugary beverages for hydration. They pull water from your cells instead of nourishing them. Remember, hydration is a partnership between consistency and awareness. The more predictable your intake becomes, the better your body regulates blood pressure, hormonal signals, and vascular response. Many men notice improvement within weeks: stronger morning energy, steadier erections, and more comfort with bladder control. But the true reward is bigger than performance. It is about reclaiming connection with your body, learning to listen, respond, and care for it with intelligence rather than fear. If this plan has given you new insight, give it a thumbs up and share it to help other men find clarity amid the noise online. Next, we will close with a summary, bringing together the science, the psychology, and the encouragement you need to move forward with confidence. So, let us bring everything together. Erections, energy, and hormonal balance are not isolated events. They are reflections of how your entire body works. Your circulation, your hydration, your hormones, and your sleep are all interconnected. And the simple act of drinking water, when done with awareness, can restore that connection in ways that many men underestimate. Here is what the science tells us. Hydration supports vascular health by maintaining optimal blood volume and nitric oxide production, the very foundation of erectile function. It stabilizes hormones by preventing cortisol spikes and protecting testosterone synthesis. It safeguards the prostate and bladder when timed intelligently throughout the day, and it improves energy, cognition, and endurance by ensuring that every cell in your body receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs. Yet more than physiology, hydration represents something deeper, a relationship with your body. Many men ignore thirst, delay urination, and push through fatigue as if these signals are inconveniences. But your body is not malfunctioning, it is communicating. When you start to listen and when you respond to what it needs, you begin to reclaim control over your health, your performance, and your confidence. So start with one change today. Drink that first morning glass of water before anything else. Pay attention to how your energy feels within a week. Notice how your sleep and morning vitality respond when you shift your hydration timing. These are small steps, but they create powerful momentum. And remember, it is common for men over 50 to experience changes in erections, energy, and urinary patterns. These are not signs of failure. They are signals of adaptation. Your body asking for better care, not surrender. If you take one message from this conversation, let it be this: you do not have to be afraid of your body. You just need good information. The more you understand, the more empowered you become to act with clarity instead of confusion. Stay curious, stay informed, and keep taking ownership of your health. One habit, one glass of water, one decision at a time. Subscribe if you want grounded, shame-free health content from someone who looks at these issues in the clinic every day. And remember, knowledge is not power until you use it.